Are you? Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
And good evening, everybody. First of all, huge whopping apologies for starting 9 minutes past. Also, secondly, huge apologies for the way that I look on the camera today. Yep. So I managed to get some new speakers because my speakers broke on the stream on Sunday, wasn't it? Was it Sunday? Yes, I think it was. So my speakers, I've now got like, ooh, they do things, they light up and everything, which is fun. Can I just keep them like, I just keep them like this, and then they just slowly change all the colors. But also because I had to set that up and everything else, my oh god, actually also my stream deck isn't working. Hang on a second, what have I done? What have I actually done today? Right, there we go, my stream deck's back. Oh, thank you, love. Thank you, love you. Thank you so much. No, it's all right, I'll have that after. Thank you though. Oh god, look, he's a lifesaver, my husband. I've got a lovely hot cup of coffee. Oh my god. So yes, so I managed to turn off the computer, in which case it reset all the camera settings. So I'm back to looking slightly grey, unfortunately, and there's not a lot that I can do about it. So yay, that's just how it's going to be today. Also, I did download some new music though, some not music, sorry, some new sounds. So I've got some which is rather cool. And I have been copyright struck for some of the music that I was playing on my little doodad. So I've changed it around now. So a couple of things you're not going to hear anymore. But yes, apart from that, there's also, I don't know how this is sounding. How do I sound now? Has it changed? Am I now echoey? Hello, good evening. Welcome to Tarot Tuesday, or something. There we go. Hopefully that should, in theory, have echoed. I don't know if it did. Anyway, right, let's have a look and see who is here in the wonderful chat. So we've got Ed. Good evening to Ed. Good evening to Queen. Good evening to Patricia. Look at that, Ed, straight in, like turned up, starts work straight away, does Ed. Queen's got a question in. I will get that in for you, my darling. Wolfboyo's here. Hi, everyone. Hope midnight comes soon. I'm hungry. Already got my takeaway on Uber Eats in and ready to pay for. I've been there, my darling. I have been there. Absolutely. Diamond Girl 225, hello, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Vikash Jain, when will I connect? I've got your question in. I will pop that in now. Wow, yes, Patricia. I've also had bad experiences with that there Uber back in the days when we were able to order, you know, takeaways. Rabina, good evening, my darling. I hope you are well. Diamond Girl, I've got your question in. Let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Patricia. You love the sweater. Currently on a half price sale in Georgia Asda for £9. And it's a huge oversized one. It's literally enormous. In fact, I'm just thinking I might have to take my top off. I might have to take my sweater off because it is very, very, very warm. Let me just have a look. If you order on Uber after 6, it's more likely to be delivered by the takeaway's own driver, not Uber drivers. So it's still hot and everything. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing, Wolfboyo. Right then, everybody, we are going to crack on with some lovely tarot. By the way, when that went on like that, has that altered my voice? Has it altered? Has it done anything? Do I sound different? I don't know. I don't know. Your best friend's mum made fajitas. Oops, hang on. Made fajitas and made enough for you. Oh, that's nice, Ed. I like fajitas. I was never a faj eater, but I do like fajitas. Thank you, Vikash. You love my eye shade. It's actually the quickest, easiest, most boring eye look today. It was a Fenty eye liner, and that's it, with some mascara. That was it. That was all I did. Yes, Wolfboyo, there wasn't time on Sunday. I know. I had to get to everybody, and then there was not enough space and time. But yes, there will be. I've also been writing my. I'm going to have to take this off. I've got so many layers on. It's been so cold. That I am going to have to take this off. Let me just have a little look. See, right, hang on. I tell you what, while I strip, ain't nobody got to see that. While I strip, I'll hit this. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. And then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding your bell and make sure your settings are changed to all. That way YouTube should notify you each and every time I upload a video. But if you would like to support myself and this channel just a little bit more, you can always go across to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, where you can in fact buy me a coffee. Thanks so much for those of you choosing to support me. There we go. Oh, hair's a mess, but that's better. Oh God, it was so warm. It was so warm in that jumper. The only thing I will say about the jumper, Patricia, if you are going to get one in George in the Asda sale, when they come, it's split all the way up to there. So on the side, all the way up, just under the underarm. That's the underarm. It's open on the side, so I've just stitched it because I was like, what's the point in having a jumper that the wind blows and then you freeze? But anyway, enough about that. Let's crack on with some tarot, shall we? Let's have a little look-see. So then, Sajini, if you're wanting a question, you will have to start your question with the word question in the live chat. By the way, everybody, I did say, let me just jump across to the YouTube. Oh, thank you. You forgot my coffee syrup. So this is the salted caramel pecan flavour. Thank you very much. I haven't even had a sip yet. Thank you, love. Oh, I know, right? So let me just have a look on Sunday's video. Oh, we don't have any comments on Sunday's video, right? Because I am going to start now with some questions from the previous video from the replay crew. So at the moment, we don't have one this week, but that's fine. There wasn't one for Sunday. I was spot on Sunday with my readings. Patricia, I always am. I know, it sounds like I'm blowing my own trumpet, and I'm not. Nice trick if you can do it, but nope. I am a very good tarot reader. I don't have to blow my own trumpet because I know that I'm pretty damn good at it. Been doing it long enough now, but yes, thank you. I'm very pleased and also a little bit saddened that I was spot on with it. But yes, anyway, I'm glad that it helped illuminate the darkness, put it that way. Right then, everybody, let's crack on. I've got 4 readings in. Shreya Sarkar, hello, my darling. I hope you are well. Adeeba Mansoor, I've got your question in as well. Yes, everything is in. Everybody's in. Right then, let's get cracking with the knackings. So I'm going to Mac. Good words already. Already we're starting. There we go. The ticker tape is now running. So what that means is the question list is officially open. If you want a question, start with the word question. Those of you who've already asked with the word question at the start, you're already in. But I've got to say, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should only be used for entertainment purposes. It should never be used to replace medical advice, counseling advice, financial advice, or legal advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, do please check out a professional in those areas. I might have opinions, I might have experience, I might have training in some of those areas, but I'm not a professional in any of those areas. Therefore, this has to be considered just for fun. Okay, you do make all your own decisions about your own life. Having said that, you do also have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. Also, don't forget, we are broadcasting live on the YouTubes. And what does that mean? What's that got to do with anything? Well, basically what that means is at some point in the future, even if I delete this channel, there is a very strong possibility that your reading will be able to be accessed via the Wayback Machine and things like that. Now, whilst that's fine and dandy, just be aware. As Patricia said, I was spot on. So I cannot control Firefly Magic. I've got yours in. I cannot control what the cards will reveal. I can just tell you what they reveal. And they have revealed in the past people having affairs, people stealing from their workplace, all of that sort of thing. So if you are up to anything that you shouldn't be, or you just don't want your personal details spread over the interwebs for anybody and everybody to be able to find for the next millennia, then do please go across to fiverr.com/beyond authentic. The I in authentic is the number 1. Please go across there. And in fact, you'll be able to book a private reading, either a 3-card, a 6-card, or a 10-card reading. Also, don't forget, we do have the QJUMP option available. In fact, I will show you. Let me just load my page. Here we go. There we go. So if I share my page, hang on everybody, this is doing the YouTubey things, and there is a way of doing this, and I just need to remember that one. Share screen, and it will be that one there. There we go. So right, let me not do that one, that one. We want this one. No, this one. Yay! Right then, so as you can see at the top of this screen, just here, there is a new button. Look, there is the QJUMP, the tarot list on a YouTube live stream. There is a brand new button. So you are able to go across there and you are able to indeed QJUMP for £5. So yeah, that is there. Or you can go ahead and join up for memberships and things like that as well. So there you go, everybody. That is now very, very obvious on there. So take advantage of that if you're able to and if you want to. Let me just have a little look-see. Shreya, I've got your question in. Good evening to Nannettes. Hi, Nanette. Nanette's Necessities, Witching Entertainment Hideout. I hope you are well, my darling. I saw you pop in with a live video the other day. I need to go and watch it on replay. But yes, good. Shreya, my darling, things are good with me. Thank you very much. Yes, everything is fine and dandy with me. So it is 7:20. Let's get on with it, shall we? Let's start some tarot reading. So who is going to be the first cab off the rank today? Queen, my darling. Hopefully, when we say Queen, we mean it's a kind of magic. It's a kind of magic. That sort of Queen. That's what we hope. Yes, so Queen, my darling, if you're here, do come and say hello in the live chat, so that we know that you are here. Just come in, hello, and say, just come hello and say hi. Yeah, that works. Come over and say hi. Come on, Queen, come and say hello. If you've jumped off, you get 3 calls after we call your name 3 times. After 3 times, you'll end up with one of these. Ah, you're there. I was just about to cue it up. Right then, Queen, this is going to be your wonderful, magical timestamp. This one. We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Queen. So, you are the first reader today. Let me just confirm. May I know why Carlos stopped texting me? Right, my darling. We'll have a look at that for you. I am going to be using the Vice Versa Tarot deck tonight. I might even have a go at the Tarot of the Sweet Temptation, or whatever it was called, if I can find it. It was on my desk. It's probably I've put it away somewhere. I have put it away somewhere. It could be anywhere. But we will get onto that for you, Queen. Right, my darling. Excuse me for slurping. I just need to invite the dragons in. Good evening, dragons. Good evening, dragons. The first reading we've got is for Queen, and Queen would like to know why Carlo stopped texting me. Why did Carlo stop texting Queen? Let's have a look if we can see a pattern. So then, dragons, quite a detailed reading, quite a detailed question, really, I guess. Why did Carlo stop texting Queen? Let's have a look and see what we've got in way of some answers for you, my darling. So then, let's have a look. See. Oh, a card jumped. Thank you, Wispy. That's Wispy energy. So we've got the 2 of Swords has jumped. Now, because of the way it fell the front way on. So not this way. It fell this way on. So normally, okay, Wispy, thank you. Normally, I would say that this is would be a modifier, but I don't think it is. I think that this is pretty much the reason. It looks like there was a falling out. Now, the Queen of Swords, sorry, the 2 of Swords, literally is standing between. I don't know how well these camera settings are going to pick it up, but each of these swords, one is glowing pink and one is glowing blue. And the person in the middle is blindfolded amongst these roaring waves. You can see these waves lapping at their feet. Now, basically, what this would say to me is that there was quite a fundamental disagreement, and it just, whatever the disagreement was, it literally was, no, we are chalk and cheese, and Carlo basically wouldn't have felt like there was any point in continuing, because either it was, either there were some little gripes that were just continuous, or there was quite a big difference of opinions. Let's have a look and see if we can get any more detail, though. Right, dragons, we're going to do the cut. We want 2 more cards, dragons. So we've got the situation. We want to know what led to the situation and how to resolve the situation. Okay, so that's the current situation. What led to it, and how do we resolve it? That's what we want to know. What led to it, how it's resolved. Right. Oh dear. Right. Okay. So what led to it is the other side of Strength. So this is not a great card. So Strength this way round, this version of Strength is lovely because it's talking about having that inner strength and being willing to put yourself at sacrifice for others. And, you know, by helping out another person, or another, in this case, the lion, you are getting a friend and an ally, and you're helping him. No. This way round, it's talking about the strength coming between you and having that element of solidity, where you're not able to move beyond somebody's point of view, because the strength kind of, it leads to almost cockiness and brashness. I've seen your comment. We didn't have any disagreements. It might not have been major disagreements, but the Two of Swords, that's all that means. That is just a rather huge disagreement. And basically what I would say to that is, especially with the Strength card coming up, this Strength card is, well, look, you can see there is a demon in the background, right? So sometimes what we think of as being strong can come across as being arrogant, or can come across as being aloof or cold. It's that sort of thing that you've got to be really careful of, because sometimes the strength is like, it can, sometimes the strongest people are the ones who let their guard down, right? Who let other people in and are able to be vulnerable. But for some people, they aren't strong enough to do that. So their idea of strength is shutting everybody down, keeping people at arm's length, not talking about their emotions, because that's what they think strength is, rather than the real strength. The real strong people are the ones who say, do you know what? I'm struggling and I need a hand. And so, yeah, that is what we that's what we refer to with that strength. So that's what's led to it. So whatever the disagreement, or whatever the kind of, how can I put it, whatever the separation, the come on brain, whatever there's a feeling that my vibro brain is not getting the right word. It's not resentment. I don't know what it is. Come on, dragons. Right, Wispy, I'll put your music back on, or your sounds. Give me the blooming, give me this thing now. Whatever it is, lay it on me. Come on. What is this thing? I think that's what it is, Queen. You've said, could he be intimidated? I think it is. I think that's what it is. I think that the strength card is so, it's such a double-edged sword. I mean, literally, you've got Two of Swords, but it's such a double-edged sword, the strength card, because if you're the strong one in this situation, then that's fantastic, because it means that you are able to stand up for yourself. You're able to be the boss ass self, you know, your boss bitch self, all of that. You're running your life and making those decisions. That's fantastic. But to outsiders, a confident person can sometimes be quite difficult to kind of get to know, especially in a personal way, because and sometimes people have had bad experiences of, you know, super confident women or super confident men, and then they come up against another person that's like fairly sure of themselves, and then they're just like, oh, do I want to do this again? Do I have, you know what I mean? The one thing I would say though, bear in mind, this is all about why Carlos stopped. So this is Carlos' impression. Doesn't need to say that you are you know, cold-hearted, or that you are putting barriers up. You know, that strength doesn't necessarily, it doesn't mean that this is what's, from your perspective, what's true. It's what Carlo was feeling, because we've also got the Five of Cups coming up as the way out, if you like. And basically this is just going to be talking about, look, let it go, right? Just let it. Don't worry about it from your perspective, because it just feels like it wasn't the right person, wasn't the right time. This card, the Five of Cups, cups is your emotion. The five is talking about feeling like you've lost things, feeling a bit of, maybe a little bit of betrayal, but it's talking about there being, you know, there's three glasses, look, on the floor, three broken cups, all of the wine has been spilled. Oh no. But you're forgetting that these two are in the background. But in this case, it's like, it feels very much like the relationship is kind of stunted before it began. Does that make sense? Because you've got these three that are knocked over, and then that's it. Like, that's it. Oh, we're done now. There's no going forward. Let's just move on. And it's like this one in the background, the two cups in the background, it's like that's the fallback position. And so that's like, I don't know whether there was someone else he was seeing or whatever it was, but it very much feels like that was the right, okay, this isn't going to work. I'm going to move on. So it was almost like cutting his losses. Like, oh, I don't want to spend another 6 months getting to know this person, because instantly there isn't that spark, or, as you said, intimidated, like, oh God, they're a really strong person, I don't know how to cope with that. Whatever it is, they've just instantly gone, oh, maybe not for me, and they've backed out. That's why you're being ghosted. But yes, let's have a look. Hang on, what are you saying? He's a new person I recently met, by the way. Okay, sometimes we meet people, we think we're having a wonderful time, and then they just never speak to you again, because they just go, oh my God, she did not shut up, or oh my God, he ate all the sandwiches, didn't offer me one, or whatever it is. It will make sense if you got intimidated, because you can be upfront. Me too, my darling. I can be upfront as well. Absolutely. But yes, it's better to be upfront than never say your piece. That's what I feel. But yeah, quite possibly, my darling. And then, oh, hang on, what's this saying? You thought he enjoyed having a conversation as much as you did, and he is your type. You see, that's it. Sometimes I've had conversations with people, right, and I've only just known, and I've only just got to know, and we have a huge, deep and meaningful conversation. Like, we talk about everything, and it's open, and it's a deep dive, and it's like from the heart and all of that. And then the next day that person's like, too much, too soon. But I've also had that conversation and ended up having literally friends for life because of a conversation like that. So carry on having those conversations, Queen. Carry on having those intense conversations, having those thoughts and all those. Carry on having those. And yeah, at the end of the day, you'll find the one that can deal with you. You will do. But in this case, I don't think it was Carlo. But thank you very much for your question. And yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your question. That's all I've got to say. Right then, I hope that helps, my darling. And yay. Right, let me just have a look. Ed says, have we all remembered to hit the thumbs up button? So we've got on this channel, we've got a thing that we like to do when we have a like spike. Okay, so a like spike. So there are 14 people watching this video right now. Let's see if we can get a minimum of 14 likes on the live one right now. I don't know what we're at the moment because I can't see it on the back end. So if somebody can have a look and tell me how many likes we've got. Let's have a like spike, please. Let's see if we can get to at least 14 likes. That's what we want. That would be glorious. Glorious. No, I won't give in. I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend. Absolutely glorious. That would be glorious. Yes, indeed. How many have we got? Can someone let me know what we've got on the chat? Let me have a little look-see. Let me have a look-see. Let me have a look-see. Oh, no worries, Queen. Thank you very much. You've hit the like button. Thank you. You've just liked as well. Cup of tea with $3 worth of sugar and cookies. Fabulous. Good luck, Queen. All the best. 13 likes now. No, we want one more like. Come on, let's get us up there. Let's get us to 14. There was 14 people watching on the live stream. We want 14 likes, please. That's what we want. That would be glorious. No, I won't give in. I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend. I will defend. Indeed. I'm just looking over at myself. Yay, we've got 14. Thank you very much, whoever that last person was. Yay, that's glorious. Yay. Thank you, everybody. Fantastic. Fan-blooming-tastic. Yay. Right then, let's have a little look. See who is up next. We've got Vikash Jain. Vikash Jain, you are up next, my darling. Wolfboyo, did you put a question in? Did you put a question in, Wolfboyo? I can't find your question. It is not in front of me. It is not in front of me. Wolfboyo. Oh, no, hang on. That didn't sound good, did it? Let me do it this way. Wolfboyo, Is it in front of me? Is your question here? Wolfboyo, is your question here? Please tell me that's echoing and sounding all lovely. It should be sounding lovely. It should be sounding lovely. Oh gosh, I've got loads of questions I've missed. Ayushi, I've got yours in. Crystal Rose, I've got yours in. My jump. God, my jump really did. My comment section jumped on me. Paridi, Agrawal, we don't answer medical questions, unfortunately. I'm going all the way back, Wolfboyo. I'm looking. No, we're talking about Uber Eats. I don't think I've got a question for you, my darling. Wolfboyo, ask your question. I'll make sure it goes in the list. Right then, so Vikash Jain, for the second time, if you're here, come and say hello. If we call you a third time, you're going to end up with a... You'll end up with one of those. Oh, you're here. I've just seen you. Wow. Oh, gosh, hang on. Everything's jumping. Everybody's jumping. This chat is jumping something chronic tonight. You asked it last week on Sunday. Well, that's no good, Wolfboyo. I can't remember what the questions were from last week. Anyway, right. Hang on. I'm sure I've just seen... Hang on. Did I not just see... Vikash, I just had your comment and now it's completely disappeared from my screen. Just confirm that you're still here, Vikash. You shouldn't have been blocked. Nightbot's not put any notifications on. What is going on? I don't understand. Vikash, just come and say hello in the chat again, because I'm sure your comment was there and then it's disappeared. So I don't know where the Nightbot has booted you for some reason. I hope not. I do hope not. What is that? That is very strange if that's happened. I've never seen that before. Once again, Vikash, I know that you did come and confirm in the live chat, but come and just do it again so I know that Nightbot's not timed you out. It looks like you might be timed out. Right, I will come back to you, Vikash. Diamond Girl 225, if you're here, come and say hello in the live chat. I'm hoping, I don't know what's going on with the chat tonight. It's looking a bit odd. Right, Diamond Girl 225, if you're here, my darling, come and say hello. Right, fabulous. I've got you. I will do your reading next. Vikash, if you can come and just confirm on the live chat again, I'll come back to you after this one. Right then, Diamond Girl, I'm going to do your timestamp, your swooshy, and it will be, it's going to come up right now. Diamond Girl 225 at 35 minutes in. Right then, let's have a look. So I don't know what is happening with the comment section. I've never seen that. Anyway, dragons. The lovely Diamond Girl 225 would like to know, how will S feel if I bring another guy to the wedding next weekend? Oh, right. We need the backstory on this, Diamond Girl. We need the backstory on this one. Oh my God. All of the regulars on this channel, all of our ears just pricked up. Every single one of us just went, ooh, what's the tea? What is the tea? We need to know. Oh my gosh. Right. Okay. So then, dragons, Diamond Girl 225 would like to know, how will S feel if she brings another guy to the wedding next weekend? Interesting. We're desperate to know what's happening. Desperate to know, but we'll get to that in a second. Right, Sunny Girl, I've got your question in. You wouldn't think I've been doing this for like 70 million years, would you, on the YouTubes? But right, dragons. Diamond Girl 225 would like to know, what's S gonna do if she brings another guy to the wedding? What is she gonna do? What is S gonna do? What will happen when Diamond Girl has another guy? And don't get me wrong, Diamond Girl, the guy you're going to bring to the wedding, is he? Oh yeah, that's a good point, actually. Well done, Patricia. That's a very good point. It depends. Who is the groom? Are you the bride? What is happening? Is this a throuple situation? It could be. It could be. Is this a jealousy thing? Like, we're dying to know. We're a bunch of nosy buggers on this channel. We're dying to know what the story is behind this. But also, I imagine if you are doing it to make someone's, like, you know, eyebrow raise and to try and make a point, I don't imagine the guy you're bringing to the wedding is going to be a bit of an old munter. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to be a bit of a dog, is he? He's going to be a fitty. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be fitty. Your friend's daughter is marrying his son. Marrying S's son. So are you oh, lots of tea, right? Okay, let's have a look then. So he's a recent somewhat ex. Right then, dragons, we've got it now. Then we know what's happening now. So then, dragons, what is S gonna do when Diamond Girl rocks up with another fella, a gorgeous other fella, fitty, dripping in the diamonds, in a lovely suit with a fancy car, just, you know, six-pack, the hair just on point, everything. That's what we're expecting. I know, right? Send him my way. No, don't. I've got a Rufus. Don't send him my way. Well, you can do. No, don't. I've got a lovely Rufus. I've got a lovely husband. Maybe. No, don't send him. Right then, dragons, let's have a look. So are we going to drop? We're going to do the drop. There we go. So then we've got, ooh, okay. Wow, right. Oh my gosh. Right, that's funny. I'll tell you what's funny in a second. If anybody's wanting a reading, what you need to do is start the word question, followed by your question into the live chat. I will get through as many as I can. Eliza, I've got yours in. Can So You, I've got yours in. Just bear in mind, I've currently got 11 more questions in, and we've got 1 hour, 15 minutes left. I don't think we're going to get through all 11, but if you want to, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, where you can, in fact, QJUMP. You can buy me a coffee to QJUMP if you want. Right then, so my darling Diamond Girl, what we've got, I'm just going to take my watch off because it's irritating my wrist. What we've got in the past position, we've got the Hierophant. Now, in this case, the Hierophant is normally somebody who is quite important or thinks they're important. So it's somebody who likes to lay down the law. So the Hierophant is often seen as like the Pope, the high priest, if you like, but it's the religious leader. So in the tarot, we've got the majors and the minors. The minors are like a suit of playing cards. The majors are all the court cards, not the court cards, sorry, all the picture cards, the lovers, you know, the death card, the fool, all of those are the cards, the major cards. These for me are like the headlines. So these are big important cards, right? The Hierophant is somebody who is the religious leader of the people. So it's not the emperor who deals with all the political stuff. the Hierophant deals with dogma. You know, you must do this. This is an institution. You must do this. You must do this way. So that instantly is telling me that I think S will raise an eyebrow, at least, if that makes sense. I think that will happen, because there's very much this. I think they're the sort of person that likes things being done a certain way by the book, because that's what this is bringing up. If they are particularly religious, then that might also play into that. But for me, the Hierophant is more about the dogma, the doctrine, following the rules, doing things the way that they've always been done, to follow that institutional element. However, in the present, we've got Justice. It is the reverse. So this is how Justice normally looks, something like that. This is the reverse. So this is Justice's throne. Now, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see, because the picture's a bit weird. We've got the tools here behind. It looks like we've got a pentacle. We've definitely got the sword here. There's, I think it's not Anubis. I always want to say Anubis. But yeah, look, you've got all of this Egyptian iconography going on in the background. I think it's Akhmet. But what you've actually got with the Justice card is it's saying straight after the Hierophant is that you are going to get justice for this. Okay, so that feels very much like you will get your moment. If you take someone else to that wedding, you are going to get your moment. Like, you've moved on from the Hierophant. Even if it's not like a serious date, even if it's not somebody that you intend spending the rest of your life or even the rest of your month with, it's, you know, it's more important just to have a nice bit of eye candy on your arm. But be aware, you will be judged for it. So this is the Judgment card. Now this is the reverse. Normally with a deck, it's seen something like this, where you can see the bodies of the fallen are being are rising and being called up above. But this way round, you've got the fact that, look, the woman and the man are standing naked, but they are covering their parts. The child isn't, although you can't see anything because the child just doesn't have those sort of bits. It's a bit like a Ken doll, but the man and the woman are covering. He's got a skull, she's got an egg, and basically what that's referring to is the fact that they are standing in judgment, but they're expecting to fail that judgment. They are expecting to be picked up on their deceit, on their wow, you've just received your notification for tonight's live, Patricia. That's bonkers. But when they're being judged, they already have their own idea that they have failed that judgment in some way. And so she's covering her privates with an egg, which is the symbol for fertility, because she's no longer a virgin. He's covering his with a skull, which is the symbol for death, because he is also no longer a virgin, and he basically is now crossed over to the dark side, if you like. Whereas the child is an innocent. And so the child is not afraid of being judged. And this depends on what it depends on why you've taken someone. If you're taking someone because genuinely you are, I will add you onto the list, Nanette. Genuinely, if you are taking somebody to the wedding that is going to be, that is potentially a nice boyfriend to be, or somebody you intend dating, if you're doing it for those reasons and you're like, look, come to this wedding with me, come and be my plus one, it's going to be really awkward because my ex is going to be there, but I need a bit of support, but actually afterwards we can go and have some food and we can go dancing or whatever. If it's that reason, then you've got nothing to fear. Like, you are the child in this situation. You are the innocent one who, if it puts the Hierophant's nose out of place a little bit, then so be it. You know what I mean? It really does depend on it really does depend on the Justice card in the middle, because literally this is the way. We're weighing the scales of justice. Now, although you've got the reversal, which means that justice is sometimes blind, and justice can go both ways. You know what I mean? It's like, is this going to be just from his perspective? You literally are stood in that bit at the moment where if If you're doing it with pure of heart, you'll be fine. If you're doing it just to score points, then I think that might come back and bite you on the bum, because of the judgment card. Now, why I was a bit impressed with this is that the next card, so if I was to call these, I would say, what would be the outcome of you going to this wedding and taking this guy? It would be the Fool. So basically walking along, not really paying too much attention, but starting a new journey. And if I was then to say, I mean, this is just bonkers. If I was then to say, okay, where does that lead you? We've got the Magician. So we've got you taking control and manifesting your best life. And if I was to go one more, how can you manifest your best life with the person that you intend taking to the wedding? We've got Temperance. 6 major arcana cards, one after the other after the other. So there's a very important bit here that actually I think this, if the guy you intend taking is actually somebody you quite genuinely like, then I think this could be a really good thing. Because with all of these cards, these extra 3 cards that were just sat there, it's like, I would ask about this, this, and this. I think you've got the potential here. And I think that although the idea of point scoring might be quite funny, if you actually go in and just say, look, I'm going to need some support because my ex is there. And yeah, all right, you know, you're a bit of a fitty and a bit hotty, and, you know, it's also going to piss him off a little bit. But at least that way, your intentions are clear and honest, like you want to take someone to an event. And so from that perspective, I think as long as you're not just doing it to score points, you'll be absolutely fine. And I think that S will get over it. I think S will get over it. He might look and go, oh my God, you know, look at what I could have had. Look at what could have been. Have a look at what you could have won. All of that. But I think in general, I think he'll get over it. And I think your life could go very, very nicely. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Right, anyway, I hope that helps, Diamond Girl. Thank you very, very much for your question. It sounds lovely. But yes, it does sound, it sounds like get pictures. Let us see what happens at the wedding. Nanette, I am just going to confirm that now, my darling. Yes, you have, my darling. Thank you for that. You didn't need to, but thank you for that. Right, so Nanette will be up next. Let him whittle. He obviously has a very sad and empty life. Who's that? Who's got a sad, empty life? What have I missed? You're sat in your living room in tears, trying your hardest not to do anything bad. What's happening? Hang on a second. Nanette, I'll come to you in a second. Your upstairs neighbour checks your bins? Oh my God. Tell him to get a life. Tell him to get a life. And then tell him to... Hang on. I can do this now. Are you ready? Tell him to get a life. Then... Oh no, hang on. It's not that one, is it? It's on this other screen. Then tell him just to go himself. That's all you need to do. Just tell him to go himself. That's it. And once he's gone, then he can carry on and go himself. And he can keep on himself. Do you know what I mean? That's what he can do. Yeah. Right then. So, Nanette, your question is next. Where am I? Where my chat keeps jumping. Something chronic tonight. Right. Nanette. Hang on. Diamond Girl 225. Anyway, I hope that helps, my darling. Thank you for your question. Let me jump down. Nanette, can you get a general reading to know what I need to know? That's really confusing me, Nanette. That really confused me. Yes, we will absolutely do that. What are you laughing for? I don't... Oh yeah, Give him an adult toy. You could do. You could. It depends. If you know anybody that's got a cheap a cheap adult toy that you can just put in your bin, or something really shocking. I don't know what. Depends how old he is as to what would shock him. Nanette, my darling, we'll start your reading. I'm going to do your timestamp right now. 51, 51:30. Nannettes. I'm just going to write Nanette, because I'll have to write your whole channel name in later. Otherwise, I'll be sat here writing your channel name in 4 hours time. You know what I mean? Right then, Nanette, your timestamp is coming up right now. We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Joe Dragons, Nanette would like to know a general reading, please, to find out all the things she needs to know. Nanette needs to know what she needs to know. Okay, Dragons, very simple. Nanette wants to know all the things she needs to know, so that she knows the things she needs to know, and she won't need to know the things she needs to know because she'll already know the things that she needs to know, if that makes sense. Don't ask me to repeat that because I can't. But yes, so Nanette wants to know the things she needs to know, please. Any messages from t'other side, from the Akashic records, from the dragons themselves, anything at all. Anything at all. Nanette is receptive, Dragons. So let's have a look. Anything going on at the moment in general? Let's see if we've got a clarifying or a modifying card. Let's have a look. We'll do one more round, Nanette. And last one. There we go. So we've not got a card jumping. So then let's have a look, Nanette. Let's do your drop. Oh, hang on. There we go. Let's do your drop. Good. A good drop. A good drop. Oh, yes, please. Pause the doodahs. Yes, please. Thank you. That would be lovely, Patricia. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. So, Nanette, I don't know what's going on in your life at the moment, but it does feel like there is a bit of, there's been a few issues recently with a certain person, right? Now, the person is going to be probably older than you. I always want to say father figure type. So not necessarily your dad, but somebody of that sort of age bracket, somebody in maybe a position of authority. It's not entirely clear, but it's the King of Swords that's coming up. Now, it's coming up with his back to us. So this is the way the king is often depicted. And this is the way the king is showing up for you, my darling, which means it feels like there has been a bit of a difficult confrontation recently, certainly within the last 6 weeks. So I would say since probably, since January, beginning of January to now, there's been a bit of a confrontation that you've had with someone, bit of a falling out. Now it's on their end, right? Because their back is to you. It's like it's on their end. If it was this side, it would be something that, how can I put it? For me, it almost feels like this way round, you're looking them in the eyes and you know what's happening. This way round, it's like they've turned their back on you. And I think it's in the Mighty Boosh where that's like, I'm turning my back on you now. And it's like a big insult thing to have your back turned. And so it feels like, the thing I'd say about the King of Swords, right? Hi, Brianna. Hello, my darling. He is somebody who is... Oh, hang on. 1 second. The King of Swords, there we go. The King of Swords is somebody who is quite judgy, quite judgmental, but also really can be quite vicious with their words, Nanette. Really can be quite vicious. Now, I did say father figure. It could be a female, but it's somebody who's got that typical kind of just a bit of a scathing tongue on them. Does that make sense? Like they're quite a little bit a little bit pithy, a little bit quick to judge. But in the present, we've got the 9 of Wands. Now, this is the reversal side. So this side is talking about like being on guard. But this side is really interesting because we've got this other figure. So we've got the guard waiting. Look, as you often see, somebody stood there. They've got all their wands. Everything's lined up. They're waiting. And then you've got this situation where the person they are waiting for finally arrives. So is this person that you are waiting for, is this a muse? Because sometimes it can be like your inner self. Is it something where recently you're going, do you know what, whoever this friend or whatever this person is that you've had a falling out with, it feels very much like that was done. It was very harsh words, but it's done. And now it feels like you're coming out of your shell again and you're starting to step back out into the light, if that makes sense. And you're able to kind of get back a bit of yourself. Does that make sense? A bit of your authentic self, because arguably that person in the cave is your inner self. It's like the inner you, the young you. And regardless of gender, it's that part of you that is the creative, that muse, that part of you, again, because wands for me always represent confidence, security, how you see yourself, that sort of thing. It's a really important way that this inner self is kind of coming out. You know what I mean? This inner self is now being allowed out, but it does feel that there is an ending with this relationship with this person, because now, again, this is one of the cards that I have to say does not mean what it says on the tin. Okay, especially this way round, does not mean what it says on the tin. So we've got the death card, but this isn't this way round. This isn't like, and death never means death anyway. We've got this transformational element of the death card coming up. So yes, we've got the crow sat on the skull with the black rose there, but we've also got this liminal space. So we've got this bit where we've got the pillars that you can see with the high priestess. We've got the maiden dancing that we can see on the lovers card as the fountain of Aphrodite. So we've got this really important ending of a chapter, ending of a chapter, ending of a way of being. So whoever this represents, and as I say, it doesn't have to be a male, but it's somebody who's got that very brash, typically, I suppose these days the person would be thought of as a Karen. It's that sort of quite abrupt, quite sort of distinct way of speaking, and in a very callous and heartless kind of way. Does that make sense, Nanette? Whatever they're saying, it's very much, it's aimed to be a dig. But it does feel like the relationship with them is pretty much coming to an end now. It feels like you're going to be able to move on. You're going to be able to, you know, close that chapter and leave it behind you and actually move on. I'm going to pull you another card. So we've got the strength card. So this is how you have to handle yourself all the way through this, right? So this is likely to be, how can I put it? This person, they are going to leave your life, right? They are going to take a step back. You're going to not reply to them or whatever it is. They're going to be out of your way. But I think this, whatever this argument you've had, I think it's going to have ripples. And as much as you're able to be that 9 of Wands and to pull yourself back, you know, back together, come out of that cave, standing tall and standing strong, I think that you're going to need to be really strong with this person. You're going to need to absolutely lay out your boundaries, what you are choosing to accept, and stick your ground, stick to your guns, if you like, stick to your points, and basically not let yourself go backwards, because I've got a feeling that if not, you'll get this, it's almost like you'll get pushed back. Does that make sense? It's like you need to draw your line in the sand and stand there and root yourself to the spot, because they're going to try and push back, they're going to try and push against your boundaries and have it so that, you know, oh, you know, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, Nanette, you always take things the wrong way. There's going to be like a gaslighting thing. You are going to need to be absolutely resilient, rooted to the spot, and basically not let yourself get pushed, right? And not let yourself get backed into a corner, or to let them to make you back down. That's the way to handle this, Nanette. I don't know what's going on, my darling. I hope that you can take it. I hope you understand. But whatever is going on, like, just stand your ground. You are entitled. You've got the right to have your opinion and to move forward the way that you feel is best for you in your life. Stand your ground with whoever this person is, because this King of Swords energy is not pleasant energy to deal with. It really isn't. It's the sort of, it's a bully. That's what it is. It's a bully, and I've never liked and will never like bullies. I've never allowed it wherever I've been, wherever I've worked, wherever I've run groups and all the rest of it. We do not allow bullies. So yeah, absolutely 100% stick the landing, stick to your ground, your guns, stick to your line in the sand. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense, my darling. But thank you very much for your question. And yeah, I really hope that helps. Let's have a little look. See. The full moon. Yes, the full moon is gorgeous. It is the last day of the full moon today. So it's a 3-day. Oh, every full moon is 3 days. No, don't change your mind, Nanette. Don't change your mind. If your decision is right for you, then it's right for you. You stick by that decision, my darling. You've got all of us here on this channel. We will support you. We will stick by you. We will absolutely cheerleader you on from afar. We will be your cheer squad. We will be here with all of the polite applause, but also we'll be here like this. I can't do the whistly thing, but we'll be doing that. We've got you, right? Stick to your guns, stick to your decision. Don't let them walk all over you. You are not a doormat. You deserve nobody's boots on your face, right? You are not a doormat. Just remember that. Boundaries are there for a reason. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question. And I wish you nothing but the very, 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 very best, my darling. Thank you very much. So let's have a look. Brianna, that's nice. I know, right? It's so nice. We're such a lovely channel here. The full moon is gorgeous, though, by the way. It is absolutely stunning. Stunning. Yeah, the questions are on pause at the moment. I've got 11 questions in, and there is no way that I'm going to be able to get through 11 questions. It's 10 past 8. We've got 50 minutes. Right then, let me have a look. So, Vikash Jain. Yes, don't take their BS. Absolutely. No BS. No BS, absolutely. Adeeba Mansoor, your question is in. So your question is next. I'm just waiting for Vikash. I think Vikash has, in fact, left the chat. So Vikash, my darlings, you get one of these. You get one of those. Unfortunately, we are we are moving your question. I've got it, Wolfboyo. I will do you. Don't worry. I will do you before the end of the session. I've already promised that, my darling. So, Adeeba Mansoor, I've got your question up. This is going to be your magical, wonderful timestamp. We have a super strong connection here, right? Oh my God! What will your card say? Indeed. By the way, this is going to be the last time I am this pale. I promise. I was trying. It's why we were 5 minutes late starting today, because I was trying desperately hard to change the camera settings whilst I was actually in the StreamYard. Sorry if it sounds really weird. I'm just pouring the coffee out of my coffee cup into my coffee cup, out of my keep warm cup into my actual coffee cup. Right then, Adeeba. Let's have a look. Adeeba Mansoor, Dragons. Adeeba would like to know who is coming in their love life. Someone who I crossed path with or someone new. Oh, interesting. So then, we want to know a little bit of... We want to know... Oh, so I've had a card fall, and it's your modifying card. Oh, no, it's not. It's 3 cards. Right, okay. Hang on. There we go. Wispy, we'll have 1 card, please. If you're trying to send a card, you know it's a 1 card deal. So then, are we talking getting... Adeeba, are we talking about a bit of passion or a bit of a long-term sort of romancy relationshipy thing? Let's have a look at what the cards are going to say. Right, let me just jump onto the live because I've seen a load of just jump up. Right, I've got it. So then, right, I'll do one more round. Here we go. If you don't know what I mean by one more round, it's literally like, I think it's 4 shuffles I normally do, just to make sure that all of the cards have had a chance to go through the cycle again and get properly shuffled. And also that's the time when the dragons, if they're going to make a card pop, that's when it normally pops. So then here we go. This is your drop, Adeeba. Oh, the cards aren't sure. It's going to go again. In a fourth time. Okay, hang on. It's going. That's it. Cards aren't sure. It's a waterfall drop. Right, so then, who's coming in your love life? Oh, not good in the past. Oh, but nice in the future. Right, okay, right. So, the past. We've got, I'll come to it in a second. Right, we've got the 5 of Cups. No, we haven't. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. Can't even read my own blooming cards. Look, so this is the 5 of Pentacles. Now, this is a really interesting card in a love reading because the 5 of Pentacles is talking about feeling outside, right? So the card often is depicted like this with a poor person begging on the street. Sometimes it's a couple, sometimes it's a child, but generally it's somebody outside of a church with this gorgeous stained glass window, but the person that the card pictures is begging. However, you've got it this way round, which means even though I think this is saying, Adeeba, that people on the outside would have no idea how lonely you feel, right? No idea at all that actually you are really quite lonely, right? And I think it's something that you don't often let on because it's seen. Look, this person here, bearing in mind this is the Pentacles, so it tends to be a bit more about money, but this person here is inside the church, nice and warm, but this golden, like, glowy floor. They're in their finest armor. They've got this wonderful, lovely stained glass, but they're in the exact same position as the poor person outside begging. Like, their life is not much better. And so from a love reading, this is saying that actually, I think that you are somebody who doesn't like showing your weakness and your vulnerabilities. And in fact, I would go even further than that and say that actually you being single is really like, it's a heartbreak for you. I don't know whether you've been in relationships in the past. I don't know whether you've yeah, sort of. Yeah. So I don't know whether you've like come out of a dodgy relationship or a relationship that ended and it's left you a little bit bruised and battered around the heart, because it does feel very much like you are still, even though on the outside people would probably think that you're quite happy in life. It feels very much like actually on your quiet moments, on your, you know, alone time, I think you do feel quite lonely. You do feel quite sad, and that doesn't mean that you haven't got people around you, friends and family and people that you know you enjoy spending time with, even to the point of view of having like flings and a little bit more, you know what I mean, like dalliances. But it feels very much like you're missing the one big relationship, you know what I mean? Especially because in your present we've got the Five of Cups. This came up earlier. When it came up earlier it was this way. This has come up this way around. So this is really looking back. I think you are looking back at a relationship that didn't work out, and you're thinking it, and you're like, maybe you're comparing future relationships to this one that is in the past that ended. Reason I'm saying that is because look, if I show you the front of the card, these 3 cups have fallen, but these 2 here in the background, these 2 here are still upright, but this person is like on bended knee, bereft. Oh no, everything's awful because I've dropped these 3 cups of wine, forgetting entirely that there are 2 perfectly safe in the background. And again, it's about forgetting how good you've still got it. But this way round, this person is not looking at the positive things that came out of a relationship. They're not looking at all the things they gained in a relationship, even though it's ended. They're not looking and saying, all right, we're not together now, but you taught me how to, I don't know, how to love nature. You taught me about, you know, Shakespeare. You introduced me to, I don't know, you introduced me to Pink Floyd's music, and now I love that, and I'll always have a little special place in my heart because you introduced me to that for the first time, and now it's my favorite band. You know what I mean? But there isn't that. There isn't this element here. This is really looking back and going, it's all ended. It all was for nothing. What is the point? Does that make sense? Because literally the person is looking at the 3 cups that you can't even see this way round. The 3 cups that have been spilled over here, and they are just immobilized by it. Now, when I said it gets a bit better, it does get better. You've got a really positive future coming up. The future we've got for you is the 9 of Cups. So I think there's a lot of love coming your way. And this is a lot more. This is the deep and meaningful kind of relationships, because the 9 is at the end. For how I've only just got this interpretation in the last few months. I now see the 9 as being the pinnacle and the 10 as being an excess of. So this 9, look, this wealthy person is in their house with all of the trappings, and you would think that this was a money card. You would think this was a card of the pentagrams, but it's not. They've got their cups all lined up and on display for all to see. Their emotions, they're so sure of themselves, so full of love and positivity that they are just radiating that out. And this is what your future is. This is where your future is. So I think you've got a lot of confidence coming in your love life, and you are going to feel it, not just the getting jiggy with it. You're going to feel it so intently. You're going to feel it in your boots. You know what I mean? You are going to be filled with love, actual proper love, really, really positive love. And I think it's going to be, so I don't normally see more than about 6 weeks down the line. So I think this could be somebody you've already crossed paths with, or it's somebody you're going to meet very, very, very soon. My gut would say, because this is such an intense reaction, I think it's somebody that you probably have already met or are already in their circle. Do you know what I mean? In their orbit. So whether you are circling their star, they're circling your star, or whether you're in a geosynchronous orbit and you're both going round each other and you're not quite linked into each other's orbit, you're both aware of each other, I believe, because to go from that to the 9 of hearts in the space of about 6 weeks would be impressive. Sorry, the 9 of cups in a Lenormand deck or in a standard playing cards, it would be hearts. And I think that's a massive step to get to. So I think it's somebody you already know. Possibly, I don't think it's an ex, but I think it's somebody who may well be in your life as either a flirty friend or somebody that is just not really let you know that they're interested yet. Does that make sense? But it's definitely someone. Listen, right? Come back in 6 weeks' time. So what would that be? That would be March, April. Last week in April, something like that. Whatever 6 weeks away is, middle of April. Come back and let me know who this person is and what's happened, because I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I expect you to come back in about 6 weeks' time and say, oh my God, Lisa, you'll never guess. There was this person and I'd already met them and I thought that they were, I don't know, I thought they were married. Turns out they were single, never been married. And actually, do you know what? We went out for coffee. We went out for dinner the next week. Then the week after that, we went out 3 times. Then we went out every day the week after. We're now inseparable. Oh my God, I think this is the one. I need to buy a hat. You're invited to the wedding. That's what we want. That's what we want. We want a Beyond Authentic Witchcraft wedding. That's what we want, Adeeba. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really good time coming up. Does that make sense? I really do. And yeah, my gut is that you've already met them. I hope that helps. I really do. But anyway, my darling, that is your reading today. Thank you so much for your question. And I really do hope it helps. And also let us know, because we're all nosy buggers on this channel. None of us have got interesting lives. We just come and sit on YouTubes. So we need you to bring us the interesting lives. We need you to bring us the gossip, because, you know, there's not enough gossip in any of our lives right now. But yes, thank you very much for your question, Adeeba. I am going to move on now for the next reading. Yes, do please come and tell us. Do please come and tell us. But also, you know, there's nothing saying here that it's gonna. I think you're in for a very happy spring. I think spring is going to be lovely for you. I really, really do. I think it's going to be a really interesting time. And anyway, with that, my darling, worth waiting for. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right then, I am going to move on to the next question. Who have we got up next? Firefly Magic. Are you here, my darling? Firefly Magic. I have got 36 minutes and 9 questions in remaining. So then, Firefly Magic, if you are here, do please, do come and tell us, because we're so nosy. Firefly Magic, you're here. Fantastic. Right then, I'm going to move straight on and we are going to go straight into timestamp mode. So it'll be 119 Firefly Magic. I love that name. Firefly Magic. Right then, this is your wonderful timestamp. We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is magic. Firefly Magic. Dragons. Oh, hang on. I clicked on that. I didn't click on your question. I'm so sorry. Bear with me, Firefly Magic. There we go. How does N feel about me? Thank you. N, how does N feel about you? Let's have a look. Dragons. Firefly Magic would like to know, how does N feel about Firefly Magic? That's what we want to know. How does N feel about them? Let's have a look. Are we going to get a single card? I think, Dragons, we'd like 3 cards But all three of them are going to read them all at the same time, dragons, and all three are how N feels, right? That's what I need you to do. So Wispy, get yourself ready. Wispy, we need 3 cards all showing how N feels about Firefly Magic. That's what we want, please. Right, I'm going to go around one more time. Oh, that card jumped. And you'll be glad it did. Oh, you'll be glad it did. We've got the King of Cups. The King of Cups. Is this a... Right, Firefly, before I get all carried away and buy a hat, is this a relationship question, or is N just somebody you work with, or like your boss and you want to know whether you're going to get a promotion? Like, is it... Because it feels... Sorry. Stay there, magic camera. It feels relationshipy. It feels relationshipy. So just confirm that, and then I know which direction I'm going in, because it feels very relationshipy. So King of Cups is all about your emotions. It's about your feelings. That's what cup resonates. Now, the king quite often is depicted like this. A bit of a dandy king. Not the most. It is romance. Fabulous. So the king is not the most fighty of kings. It's not like the King of Swords, who's going to go in and go, rah, fight your swords, ching, ching, ching. It's not that. The King of Cups is a romantic, and is a romantic by nature. Now, they're literally holding one of the cups, and their energy is all about the water element. Now, this way round, just because it's the back of the throne, it doesn't really alter anything. In this case, it gives us a few more ideas. So the throne this way round appears to be made out of coral, so it's talking even more of a nature, even more of a like an all-encompassing love, like a really healthy love, put it that way. And then we've got this lovely gorgeous dolphin here as well. Look at that. So you've got this nature element going on. You've got the water, so it's very much to go with the flow of things. So it feels like it feels quite positive. Now, the one thing I will say is that the King of Cups, this reversal, if you like, the back of the king, it could be that, it could be, how does N feel about you? It could be that there's a bit of physical distance, or it could be, again, I've got this thing of the mighty Boosh. I'm turning my back on you now. It feels like almost like there's been a bit of a falling out. Not a major one. It's not like a sword card. It's not a trouble and strife or a hurdle obstacle card, but it feels very much like there's... Do you know what it feels like? It feels like there's a slammed door, right? The door has been slammed, but it's been slammed so hard that actually what's happened is it's hit the lock and it's opened again. So the door was slammed, but it's now left ajar, and you can walk back through. So you can make this better, if that makes sense. I've got this impression. Is the King of Cups, so I would say in this instance, the King of Cups would represent N. Is N quite stubborn? It can N be a little bit, digs their heels in, a bit, yeah, a bit stubborn, a bit pig-headed. Right, I'm going to do your drop. So we're doing 3 cards all at once to see how N feels, right? So that's your clarifying card, your modifying card. So we've got... Okay, so all of these 3 together. So we've got the 10 of Wands. Now, this is about, Wands for me is all about your sense of security. So it's all about your confidence and all of that. Now, your question is specifically, how does N feel about you? So I think that N was quite assured about the relationship for a while. Does that make sense? I think that they... I think they were so... I think they were really sure of things, right? I think that they were, if you were in a relationship, they knew where they stood, or at least they thought they did. They were quite confident. There was a lot of sense that this is going somewhere, like you're both on the same path, all of this sort of thing. Like it all felt very much very easy, if you like, that actually things were just going to go along with the flow. But this is the reverse. So this is how the card is normally depicted, and we've got it this side at the moment. So we've got this sticking block here. Look, can you see? We've got this element here where this person is kind of, it's like they're how can I put it? It's like their higher self, right? Right, I'm just going to say it, right? It feels like they got carried away with the relationship and they got scared, right? It feels like they jumped in with both feet and they thought this is what they wanted and this is what you wanted, and you were both absolutely going along the same path, and then they got cold feet, and that cold feet made them go, ah! That's what it feels like. It feels like there was an overabundance of confidence in the relationship, and it's that they basically went, oh, maybe not. And it almost feels like they are, it feels like they're, do you know what it is, right? It's the sort of thing that my mum would say, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like whatever's happened, they don't want to back down from whatever the argument is or whatever the disagreement was. They don't want to back down from it and actually move things forward, because it's almost like they don't want to lose face. Does that make sense? That's what I'm getting with this 10 of Wands. It's like, nope, nope, nope. So again, my latest understanding of the cards, the 9 is the pinnacle, the 10 is the excess. So the excess of confidence would breed into arrogance. It would leach over into that sort of, you know, that my way or the highway, I am right, you are not, this is mine. It's that sort of element, if that makes sense. Then we've got the 9 of Pentacles in the present. Now this way round, it's a very different vibe to this. This is how it normally shows up. So again, we've got this abundance of wealth. However, in the nighttime, the glowing of this is not, it's not as warm. Look, so we've got this lovely warm spring, and then it almost feels like we're into winter. It feels like we've got this situation where things have thawed, things have frozen between the two of you. Now, I would say that there is I would say you're at almost not at loggerheads. Come on, brain, think of the phrase. I would say that you're almost pulling in two different directions, put it that way, right? Reason I'm getting this, and it's the most weird thing, see these two birds, right? You've got one here on her hand and this one, and it feels like you can't be on the same perch at the same time. Does that make sense? Right? So there's a financial element here, but for me, that's more likely to be a career thing, like working too hard, doing too much all the time, being too focused on the material things. But these birds are really kind of coming to me on this card, and it feels almost like whatever you say, he kind of picks at. So there's like this pickiness going on, not majorly, but it feels very much like, oh, do you know, again, right? I try and do tarot without the fluffy bits. It feels like you've laid some birdseed on the table, right? Go with me here as a metaphor. You've laid some birdseed on the table. The birds have all come down. Whilst they're birds, whilst there's seed there, they're happy to stay. Once they've got what they want, they've flown. It feels a bit like that. Do you know what I mean? And it feels like once he got what he wants, whatever that is, whether it's like hearts and flowers or jiggy jiggy, whatever it is, once he got what he wanted, he then backed off. And it wouldn't surprise me if he was really like, I take it to he, I don't know, but anyway, N, it wouldn't surprise me if N was like, oh, here, have some roses, or I really like you, and oh, this is really lovely, and oh, we should go out, and oh, I'm ringing you, and let's go for dinner, and was really like, really full of it. And then they got what they wanted, whatever that was, and then they just kind of, it all froze. Does that make sense? It feels very, very icy. Because all three are being read together, we've also got the Page of Wands. This is all about childishness, immaturity, right? That's what the Page of Wands is. So this is somebody who I think that, and my guess is that N is male, because it's that teenage boy energy almost that you're dealing with. It's almost like, you know, those people, right, that their mum is mollycoddled, that their mum has looked after, and basically, you know, mum has done all the washing, mum has done all the food, the cooking, mum has done everything, and then they get into adulthood and mum is still doing everything for them, and oh, poor little Billy and poor little Nilly. Oh, Nilly, that's the name now. Nilly can't possibly look after himself because mummy's done everything. And oh, don't worry, poor Nilly, you know, and it's just that sort of sense of entitlement to do little. Does that make sense? And it feels very much like this Page of Wands, it feels very much like he just expects, look, he's going, but look at my lovely abs. Look, of course you should bow down before my abs because I've got these abs. Of course you should. And it feels very much like, it feels like he's a player. It feels like he's a player. That's what it feels like. It feels like he's like, not as intense as that Andrew Tate guy, but it feels like he's like, he would watch him on YouTube and subscribe and hit the notification bell and do all of those things. By the way, if you haven't already, do please hit the subscribe button and ding your bell so that YouTube notifies you whenever I do go live. So do please hit that bell. Thank you very much. But it feels very much like he's in it for his own means, right? And then he's moving on. And this King of Cups, it's really annoying because I feel like he's turning his back, right? That is what I genuinely feel. Normally I don't get it from this card. Normally it would be a different thing, but it feels like he's turned his back, and it feels like he feels like a mummy's boy. That's what it feels like. It feels like a mummy's boy who he either got his way or didn't get his way and is now spitting his dummy out. I don't know if that makes any sense. You're asking how we feel is about you, and I don't think it's about you. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he hadn't already moved on. It wouldn't surprise me if he had a side chick on the side. Obviously on the side, you know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me if he was that sort of person that already 2 days later was messaging somebody else, or like the next day after you have a disagreement, he's already moving on to the next to the next person that he can try and, you know, conquest. And I'm not saying that, you know, you've given anything up or that you haven't, but it feels very much like just this Page of Wands. I don't think he's secure enough. I think he's all bluster, all front, like all mouth, no trousers, as they say. And I don't think, like, I think you've got a lucky escape, put it that way. I put it that way. I think you've got a very lucky escape because it absolutely feels like this guy is a wannabe player. I don't even think he's very good at it. I don't even think he's very good at it. He's probably one of those people that when you're talking about the jiggy jiggy, right? You know what I mean? Certain words I can't use on the YouTubes, but it feels very much like if you were to discuss the jiggy jiggy, he'll turn around and say, well, I've never had a complaint. And it's like, yeah, because you don't stick around long enough because you finish and then you're asleep. So you don't hear the fact that there's any complaints because you're already snoring. Do you know what I mean? Feels like that. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Let me click on the live. You're probably going, oh my God, Lisa, what the hell are you talking about? He's my boss. Let's have a look. Right, on the live. Where are we? Nandini, hi, my darling. We have closed the listings for today. We've got 20 minutes left. So, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any space. He's male. He's still having a tantrum then. Yeah, absolutely having a tantrum. Conflicting views. I think conflicting views, but also I think he's just more, I think he's after his own sort of thing. It's that almost toxic masculinity bullshit, you know what I mean? It's like that feel about it where he's like, look at me, I'm the big man. I've got this girl and I treat women like this. It feels very much like that, and it feels very much like you could have had a chance at a decent relationship if it wasn't for all the BS that he peddles. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. He was hot and cold, definitely too proud to back down. Yeah. I think I might have said something like that. But yeah, it feels like he's not going to admit that he's wrong, is he? He's not going to admit that he's wrong. Subscribe and ring the bell and you will be notified when next live readings. Speak to you soon. Stay safe. Yep. Brianna, yes. Hi Brianna, are you going? Okay, my darling, well, thank you very, very much. So stubborn. So I was right. No contact at the moment. Right, sod him then. Sod him, Firefly. He's not worth it, my darling. He's not worth it at all. He really isn't. At the end of the day, it feels like you've got a lucky escape with this one, my darling. It really, really, really does. Right, I'm going to try and squeeze 2 more readings in. Let's have a look at who I've got up next. Ooh, let me have a look. Anyone I'm drawn to very quickly? Wolfboyo, I will get to yours. Right, I'm just going to do the next one off the cab, off the rank. Energy check between the Sag. Shreya Sarkar, if you're here, my darling, come and say hello. Oh, no problem at all, my darling. No problem at all, Firefly Magic. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you for being here tonight. Don't forget, everybody, if you would like to, you can go over and support the channel over here at buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, because I am addicted to coffee. It's a bit of a problem, if I'm honest, but it's not. It's not, because I love coffee. But yeah, you can go and buy me a coffee and support the channel that way. You can sign up for our memberships over there, so you become a channel member. We get to hang out on a Sunday evening at 6 o'clock for a bit before we go live. I'm working on the tarot, Lisa's definition of the tarot. I am slowly getting through the cards at the moment, the majors, and working out how I want it all to look. So there will be some handouts, some downloadable content and everything. I know, right? It's exciting. And you will get videos at least a day early, and all of that. So yeah, do go over there if you would like to. Shreya, my darling, for the second time, if you're here, come and say hello. That'll be really cool if you can. If not, then fine. If you've already skipped out on us, that's fine. We won't be too heartbroken. So yeah, for the third and final time then, Shreya Sarkar, if you're here, come and say hello in the live chat. This is your last chance. Nope. It looks like Shreya has gone. So therefore, Shreya, you get a... Oopsie, we have skipped you. So then, right, let me have a look. What time have we got? I've got 15 minutes, right. So I think we're just going to jump to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to try and do a quick one. Let me see if I can do a quick one. What would be a quick reading out of these? What do I need to know right now? Christian, may I know what's going on with his situation in general, please? Right. Kansu, if you're here in the live, come and say hello. come and say hello. There will be, again, Rabina, there will be, I'm trying to work out the schedule at the moment. I'm trying to work out my schedule at the moment. So yeah, I will be doing some makeup stuff over there on a Thursday. We're also going to be talking about Slimming World and why things are changing over there, and what's going on with Slimming World at the moment. So yes, Kansu, if you're here, come and say hello for the second time. This is your air horn. If I go for the third time, then we're going to go straight to Wolfboyo. Wolfboyo, get ready. Kansao. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but this is the third and final call. If you're here, come and say hello in the live. If not, I'm going to have to move on, and we will go to somebody else's question. Nope. Unfortunately, Kansu, you get a... There you go. We have skipped you. And so now we are going to Wolfboyo for the last question today. Wolfboyo, my darling, come and say hello in that there live chat. I know that you are here somewhere because I have seen you. There we go. Wolfboyo, come and say hello in the live. And yep, there you go. Well done, my darling. Right, this is your... Hang on. This is your timestamp. We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! So then, dragons, friend of the channel, our lovely Wolfboyo, would like to know quite a serious question. So, does Wolfboyo's Aunt Jenny know how sorry I am for how I treated her? She died before I could tell her what happened. Right then, dragons. So we want a bit of closure for Wolfboyo. Wispy, we're going to go... Okay. We've had a card jump. It's the Tower. Now, the Tower is interesting, Wolfboyo. Wispy, I'm playing it. So, Wolfboyo, the Tower is talking about things that you built up coming down around your ears, basically, right? So the idea is this tower is strong and solid. It's absolutely not going to break. And then it gets hit by lightning and people have to jump out on fire to try and save themselves because the whole building is crumbling. Because if you look at the back of the tower, it's not genuine. It's false. It's not complete. The mask has been split in two, look, right at the top. So this is very much talking about the situation. I think that she absolutely knew what was going on. Whether she you know, forgave and managed to see beyond it, I think she realized what was actually happening. I really do. Let me have a little look see. So I've got, hang on. Here we go. Let me have a look. Are we dropping? We are. It was a slow drop, but a very determined drop. Right then. Okay, right. So in the past position, we have Judgment. So I think that, again, now for me, this way round, the Judgment is talking about kind of how we judge ourselves and how we can sometimes beat ourselves up for actions we've done in the past. We've all made mistakes. We've all messed up. We've all hurt somebody we didn't intend to. We've all done things that we look back on and cringe and go, oh my God, like I didn't know. I didn't think about how that would affect someone. So this is really talking about that, because we've got the two central figures here covering themselves and That's their guilt and their shame talking. Now, sometimes we are much harder judges on ourselves than we would be to a friend, right? If you were to turn around to someone and say, if you were to turn around to a friend, right, and that friend was saying to you what you had done, right, put it in those terms, and the friend was telling you the story about how, you know, they treated somebody badly, but these were the reasons and blah blah blah, you would see that full story and you would go, look, don't be so harsh on yourself. Like, you were in a rough place, you made the decision that was right for you at the time, and now you've realized, and now you're able to regret it, and now, you know, you're able to move on, and hopefully the other person will forgive you. All of that, that's what you would say to your friend. So that's what you need to do for yourself, right? You need to be able to forgive yourself for what you had to do in the moment at that time when you were damaged. Let's not beat around the bush here. You know what I mean? Like, we've all done things when we're in a weakened position, when we are perhaps not fully aware of what we're doing. We've all done things and said things that turned out to be hurtful, even when that wasn't our intention, because we didn't know how else to be at the time. Now, years later, if the people are still around, you can go back and apologize. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes the only thing you can do is to make peace with it yourself and find a way of moving on. But I think, which I think is what you need to do. I think you need to make peace with it yourself, right? I think that your Auntie Jenny will absolutely know, and will basically, whether you think they go to heaven or whatever you think happens in the afterlife, I think they connect with their Akashic record, right? They find a way, they get all of the knowledge. So they will not just know what happened and what your situation is, they will understand it from all sides, because they've then got the full total package of knowledge. You know what I mean? So I think she'll absolutely get it, will have forgiven you, will understand, and I think that she will, you know, absolutely 100% not have taken things the way that you think. You've got guilt over what you did, however major or minor that guilt is, for whatever reason. You're feeling that, and the reason you're feeling it is because you are at your core a pretty decent human being, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be feeling that guilt. Does that make sense? Now in the this isn't really past, present, future. This is really just all going on at the same time, I guess, because we've got the story is, I keep scratching. Do you know why I'm scratching? It's because I'm wearing this like warm, extra warm vest thing on top of my bra, and it's got this really annoying stitching that's really tough, and it's making me itch all around my back, everywhere I can feel it under my arms and everything. It's really, really itchy, but because I can't scratch it, it's making me itch all over. It's just really infuriating. You know, like when somebody talks about spiders, oh, the spiders were all in their hair, suddenly you're like, oh, it's like that. Anyway, we've got the Hermit card. Now, this is how I think you're punishing yourself, right? I think this is taking yourself out of the equation and not dealing with it. And obviously now, if your auntie has passed, you're never going to be able to have that conversation as corporeal beings. Do you know what I mean? You're never going to be able to say that to her, but she will absolutely know. And the Hermit for me is about seeking knowledge, seeking understanding, seeking wisdom from within. And it feels like the fact that you're able to ask this question, you're already there, my darling. You're already at the point where you're able to ask for forgiveness and be able to forgive yourself for your previous mess ups, your previous mistakes. The one thing I was saying about the Hermit, look in the far corner, look at this moon, right? We've got up here, we've got a full moon. Today is a full moon. Maybe tonight or whenever you're able to, around the full moon, it will be a good time just to sit quietly and just to send the message to your Aunt Jenny. Literally just say whatever you feel that you need to say. Get it off your chest, whether you say it out loud, whether you say it like in your head, whether you chant, whether you meditate, whether you just write it out on a piece of paper. Get that message of what would you say if for some reason she walked in right now, apart from, oh my God, I thought you were dead. You know what I mean? What would you actually say if you had a chance for that conversation? What would you say? How would you phrase it? How would you put it to ask for forgiveness, but also to explain, not to excuse, but to explain? What would you explain? And then do it, and then send it out into the universe. Send it out to wherever she is, wherever her essence is, wherever her Akashic record is. Send it out, and then you at least you would have said your piece. Does that make sense? And that will give you some form of closure, because we've also got the Seven of Wands here, right? The Seven of Wands. So this is about sense of security and confidence and everything else, like I always say. But this time, look at this. So this person here is in the trenches. Battlements are ready. They are ready for a fight. This way round, this person is not ready for a fight. This is a weary soldier. This is a person who has basically carried this battle around with them for so long, and now it's nighttime and it's cold and they just want to let this go. And I think this is what you need to do, my darling. I think you need to find a way to get that closure. I think you've been too harsh on yourself with this judgment. You are going to be feeling more guilt than I think your auntie would put on you. And the Hermit card in the middle is really talking about seeking your own understanding. And look, I've just seen Patricia says put it in a letter and then burn it. Yeah, you can do that. Or you can write it in a letter and put it somewhere secure, and then go and read it the next time you're feeling insecure about something you've done, or feeling that, you know, you need to ask. Go and reread it. Like the act of writing the letter is enough to send it to where it needs to go. But I think, in all honesty, I think you are beating yourself up more than your Auntie Jenny would want you to, and than your Auntie Jenny would have done if she were here. Do you know what I mean? I think that you were in a tough situation. I think you got through it the way that you had to at the time because of the situation that you were in, right? Sometimes when we're in survival mode, all we can do is survive. And sometimes when we're in survival mode, we don't think about how it's going to affect the people around us that we care about, because we are too dialed into that survival mode. We have to find a way through. And sometimes we will say the most hurtful things because we're in that mode. We just need to get to the other side. We need to get to the point where we don't feel like we are drowning. We need to get to the point where we don't feel like, you know, we're battling to stay here. And sometimes when you're in that headspace, you're not thinking correctly. You're not acting like you would normally, because we're in survival mode. And quite often at that point, you will say and do things that you wouldn't in any other way, shape or form. And then when you're out of that situation, when you're back on an even keel, when you're no longer in survival mode, when you're actually now in your standard kind of, you know, how can I put it, standing operating procedure, basically when things are back to some sort of normality, that's when you look back and you go, oh my God, did I really do this? Did I really do that? Oh my God, did I really? And that's when we have regrets. That's when we sit there and we beat ourselves up over stuff that at the time was the right decision that we had to make. Like, you went through a bloody awful time that you weren't able to discuss. You weren't able to, it was too soon for you to delve deep and uncover and talk about all of those wounds. It was just too soon. And that's fine. And unfortunately, she passed before you were able to get to that point and have that conversation. But it doesn't mean that she didn't recognize that this was a temporary issue, a temporary glitch, if you like, and that she would be able to, if she was here, I am sure she would forgive you. I am absolutely sure she would forgive you. And if she was here, I am sure that she would see things from your perspective. She might not forget, that she would forgive. And I think you need to be able to do that as well. So I like Patricia's idea. Write down what you would say, put it in a letter, burn it if you want, put it in a lockbox if you want, and you know, leave it for a couple of years. Bury it at a crossroads is another way of sending things out. There's lots of different ways that you can do that, but just put everything down and then let those feelings go. Because I am very sure that wherever Auntie Jenny is now, and whatever of her is still around, that she understands. And I think your guilty feelings, you're giving yourself a harder time than Auntie Jenny would, put it that way. And as somebody who's old enough to be your auntie, and I will say quite firmly that, yeah, like, I'm old enough to be your auntie, and I would forgive. I wouldn't forget, but I would forgive, and I would understand, and I would try and have compassion. And I am sure the fact that you're feeling guilt tells me everything you need to know, everything I need to know about Auntie Jenny, and about your relationship with her. And I am absolutely sure that she will do the same thing. And with that, my darling, I'm going to leave that with you. But I don't think you've got anything to fear. And I think at some point, in some way, when you see her again and you have a conversation in whatever form that we are in when we leave this shape and form, whatever form we are in, whether it is angels, whether it is, you know, all of us as we are now, but in a fluffy cloud, whether it is glowing orbs of light, whether it is just a whisper in the wind, however we reconnect, however we move on, I am sure that you've already been forgiven a long time ago. And I think she completely understands. So with that, my darling, I'm going to leave that with you. But thank you ever so much. Everybody, look at this. Everybody is saying it in the chat as well. Patricia's saying it. Ed's saying it. They still love us. Yeah, absolutely. She would have known and certainly understood more than you realize. Absolutely. And don't forget, when people are young, oh, we've got 22 likes now. Fantastic. When people are young, it's the adults around us. It's our aunts, our parents. They've lived a life before we ever came along. So they know. We think we're doing things all cloak and dagger, and they know. I still remember her last words to you. She said, "I do love you. I'm always here for you. You can tell me anything." 3 days before she passed. I never even said sorry, but I did tell her I loved her too. She loved you. You can tell me anything was her way of saying there's nothing you couldn't say that would make her stop loving you. So trust me, you were already forgiven. My darling. Absolutely, 100%. You were already forgiven. And as God, Patricia, you're so wise. You cannot change yesterday, but you can learn from it. Absolutely, Patricia. Abso-friggin-lutely. And Nanette, look, Nanette agrees. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, Patricia says here, I'm sure your aunt knows when you pass, everything becomes clear because you've got the full access to the Akashic records. You've got access to everything. She wants you to be happy and strong now. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, my darling. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like she knows. You're doing a live stream in the morning for a Get Ready With You at 1 p.m. our time. What will I be doing at 1 p.m? I will be probably elbow deep in fruit and veg because that's what I do on a Wednesday. So yeah, I will be dealing with fruit and veg. but I will try and watch on the replay. I will try and be part of the replay crew, which reminds me, if you are part of the replay crew for this channel, put a lovely, what should we have in the emoji today? I'll tell you what, I don't know. What should we have as the emoji today? What are today's themes? Lots of love themes. So we'll have a heart. We'll have a purple heart. No, a pink heart. I'll have a pink heart in the chat, everybody, if you are watching this on the replay crew. Much love to the replay crew. Don't forget, replay crew, if you would like a tarot question asked, put your question down in the chat, starting with the word question. And on Sunday, I will pick up one of the replay crew questions from today, and I will start the tarot stream with that. So if you would like your tarot question read, put it down in the chat, and I will try and get to one of those on Sunday evening at the start of the show, at the start of the stream. Thank you so much to everybody for joining. Thank you to my amazing mods. You're all bloody wonderful, you know that. Thank you to everybody. Don't forget, join the Nannettes. Nannettes Necessities Witching Entertainment Hideout tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you would like to go and take part in Nanette's live stream. They're always, Nanette's videos are always quite, she's a bit like me. She goes all over the place. She starts talking about one thing, ends up talking about something else. Lots of diversions, but it's always fascinating and always really, really interesting. So yeah, make sure you go and check out Nanette's channel. Thank you so much to Patricia. Thank you so much to Ed for being the mods on tonight's stream. And thank you for watching. And thanks for all the wonderful thumbs up. It has been
glorious. No, I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend.
Absolutely. So thank you ever so much, everybody. I will be back on Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you soon. And as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. Love you all. Bye. Bye.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.